Have you ever wondered why good people suffer? Why does God sometimes allow pain, loss, and heartbreak to enter the lives of those who faithfully serve Him? The story of Job is one of the most powerful stories in the entire Bible. It reminds us that even when we don't understand what God is doing, He is still in control. Job lived in the land of Uz. He was a wealthy and respected man, known for his honesty, his kindness, and his unwavering faith in God. He had 7 sons and 3 daughters. His land was filled with thousands of sheep, camels, oxen, and servants. To everyone around him, Job seemed to have the perfect life. But there was something happening in heaven that Job knew nothing about. One day, Satan appeared before God and claimed that Job only worshiped God because he had been blessed with wealth and happiness. Satan challenged God, saying that if everything Job owned was taken away, he would surely curse God. But God allowed Job to be tested, not because Job had done anything wrong, but because God knew that Job's faith was genuine. God set clear limits. Satan could test Job's faith, but he could go no further than God allowed. Then, disaster struck. One messenger arrived with terrible news. Raiders had stolen Job's oxen and donkeys and killed many of his servants. Before Job could even respond, another messenger arrived. Fire had fallen from the sky and destroyed his sheep. Moments later, another messenger came. His camels had been stolen. Then came the worst news of all. A powerful wind had collapsed the house where all of Job's children were gathered. Every one of them had died. Imagine losing everything in a single day. Your children, your home, your wealth, your future. Most people would have blamed God. Most people would have lost their faith. But Job did something that shocked everyone. Instead of raising his fist against heaven, he fell to his knees with tears in his eyes. He worshiped God. Then he spoke words that have echoed through history. The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Even after experiencing unimaginable loss, Job refused to sin against God. His faith remained unshaken, but Satan was not finished. Once again, he appeared before God. Satan claimed, "Job is only faithful because his own body has not been touched. Strike his health, and he will surely curse you." God allowed another test, but once again, he set a limit. Satan could harm Job's body, but he could not take his life. Soon, painful sores covered Job, from the top of his head to the soles of his feet. The pain was constant. Every movement hurt. Every breath reminded him of his suffering. Job left his home and sat among ashes. He picked up a broken piece of pottery and gently scraped his wounds, searching for even a moment of relief. People who once admired him now looked away. Some whispered, others mocked him. Even his own wife, broken by grief, looked at Job and said, "Are you still holding on to your faith? Curse God and die." But Job answered with wisdom, "Shall we accept good from God and not accept trouble?" Despite his pain, despite his loneliness, despite losing almost everything, Job still trusted God. His body was weak, but his faith remained strong. Days passed, then weeks, yet Job's suffering did not end. Soon, 3 of Job's closest friends arrived. Their names were Eliphaz, Bildad, and Zophar. When they saw Job, they could hardly recognize him. The man who had once been wealthy, strong, and respected, now sat alone, covered in painful sores. His clothes were torn, His face was filled with sorrow. His friends wept loudly. They tore their robes and threw dust over their heads as a sign of deep mourning. For 7 days and 7 nights, they sat beside Job. No one spoke a single word because they saw that his suffering was beyond words. But after the silence, the conversations began. Instead of comforting Job, his friends accused him. They believed that God only punished sinful people. Again and again, they insisted, "Job, you must have done something terrible. Confess your sin, and God will restore you." But Job knew he had not turned away from God. He searched his heart again and again, yet he could find no hidden evil that deserved such suffering. With tears in his eyes, Job cried out to heaven, "My God, why has this happened?" He did not understand why his life had fallen apart. He questioned his pain, but he never abandoned his faith. Even in the darkest moments, Job continued to seek God. He believed that somewhere beyond his suffering, God still had a purpose. Little did Job know, the greatest answer was about to come. Not from his friends, not from another messenger, but from God himself. After many days of suffering, something extraordinary happened. A powerful wind began to rise. Dark clouds gathered across the sky. Thunder rolled through the heavens. And from the midst of the whirlwind, God spoke. Job listened in awe. God did not begin by explaining every reason for Job's suffering. Instead, he revealed his greatness. He asked Job, "Where were you when I laid the foundations of the earth? Have you commanded the morning to appear? Can you bind the stars in the heavens? Can you command the sea to stop its waves?" Question after question, God reminded Job that his wisdom is far greater than human understanding. Job suddenly realized how small human knowledge truly is. He understood that he could not fully comprehend the plans of an all-powerful God. With humility, Job bowed before the Lord. He said, "I spoke of things I did not understand, things too wonderful for me to know." In that moment, Job stopped demanding answers, and he chose to trust God completely. Then God spoke to Job's friends. He rebuked them for judging Job unfairly, and he asked Job to pray for them. Imagine that. The man who had suffered the most was now praying for those who had accused him. And as Job prayed, God began to restore his life. His health returned. Strength filled his body once again. His land prospered. His flocks multiplied. Peace returned to his home. God blessed Job with more children, more joy, and more years than before. The Bible says that Job lived a long life, surrounded by his children and grandchildren. What can we learn from Job's story? Suffering is not always a punishment. Sometimes God allows difficult seasons to strengthen our faith, to deepen our trust, and to reveal his greater purpose. If you're going through pain today, remember this: God has not forgotten you. He sees every tear. He hears every prayer. And just as he restored Job, he is able to restore hope, peace, and joy in your life. Trust him, even when you cannot see the whole picture. Thank you for watching. If this story encouraged you, please like this video, subscribe to Faith Rise Motivation, and share it with someone who needs hope today. May God bless you abundantly.